Welcome back to Great Day St. Louis. When you're in the midst of a big life event, I don't know, say planning a wedding, how do you make sure you and your significant other maintain your sanity and a strong relationship? In this week's I Do To Do story, brought to you by Gold's Gym and Walter Knoll Florist, we are getting expert advice from therapist Justine Froelker. Good morning to you, Justine. Okay, so this is one of those things where it could be any big life event. You know, for me and my fiance right now, it's planning a wedding. But how do you prepare for the good and the bad that come with these scenarios?
I think the biggest thing that we say, make sure you turn towards one another and not away. That's probably the biggest, and that's just one of the counseling 101 things that we say. And I think, especially when it comes to wedding planning, keep perspective. Because I think I was thinking of this morning when I was stuck in traffic here. I love me some Pinterest, but I think it really can take something like a big event, like a wedding, and just feel the competition and comparison stuff that we have, and it makes us lose focus of what it's really about. I mean, this is the party to kick off your life, but it's really about what comes after it.
Yeah, and we take breaks from it too. We have wedding planning nights and we have non-wedding planning nights.
Absolutely, it cannot be all about that.
Because you have to go beyond that. Well, and then there's also those outside opinions. We're very fortunate we don't have too many outside opinions, people weighing in. But but in any big life event, people always want, especially your family members, to say what they're thinking. And sometimes you don't want to hear it.
Oh no. So I think a big one is make sure you know what your musts are. What are your guys' musts?
So you talk about that ahead of time.
Absolutely. This is kind of a non-negotiable for me. What do you think about that? You know? And then when it comes to all those opinions, thank you. We'll take that into consideration. I appreciate your feedback.
See, I'm not good at those things, though. So having those
and then
lines
saying, no, we're
ahead
not going
of time.
to. But totally.
But knowing what to say ahead of time is key.
Absolutely.
And I like to circle back to those conversations a lot with my fiance, and he's like, we already talked about this, but I need to constantly talk about it. And he's like, we're one and done at that point.
Oh, yeah. Because their brains are quite different than ours.
So we all come back to it. A lot.
Everything's connected for us.
And I've had a few friends, and I have to admit, at first I was shocked that they did premarital counseling. I thought they had an incredible relationship, and they did. And they did it even though they didn't think they needed it, because somebody suggested that to them.
Absolutely.
Are more people doing that?
I do think so. And I think I'm interested to see what the wave is going to be, because there's more and more celebrities coming out saying, we go to counseling. And I love that, because marriage is hard. You know, my partner that I share office space with, Kelly Tipton, great marriage counselor, she said, you know, I tell people, if you want to be in love, continue to date. If you want to run a corporation together and be partners, get married.
Interesting.
And that's a great that's a great way to put it. And I was like, I go, exactly, because when I talk to my clients, this is a partnership. You want a witness to your life, but you want a teammate to go through it with. And so, and that is a lot of work. So that premarital counseling can be, I mean, it really, I wish everybody would do it,
when you have that third party kind of helping you navigate some of those tough conversations. And there are a lot of tough conversations you have to have before you get married, or you advise it. Walk me through some of those.
So conflict resolution, what kind of fighter are you? Or learning how to fight in a healthy way. Kind of those tips, tricks, and rules for healthy fighting. Like, what's your code word? When you're not getting anywhere, what's the code word? Someone says a code word, we take a break, we go in separate rooms, and then we come back after an agreed amount of time.
Oh, we have a code word for wedding planning.
Love it.
We say cherry and we're done.
Exactly.
My fiance is very aware of his feelings. He says cherry, and I'm like, all right, we'll circle back tomorrow.
Exactly. See, we used to have one for tone. Tone's a big one too. Like, I need you to check your tone. So that works. It totally works. Communication styles, obviously, for sure. And then be all end all thing, I think for almost every therapist we would say this, love languages.
Really?
Dr. Gary Chapman, his book, The 5 Love Languages, he now has one for parenting, kids, teenagers, dating. I mean, he has one for every version of relationships, but I think it's a very important conversation. What is your partner's love language? Because we don't usually end up with someone with the same one.
So how do they express their love to you?
So how do I feel loved? So the easiest way to think about love languages is, if I were to ask my husband Chad and say, when was that time or that day that you're like, man, she really loves me?
When does he
that's
have that feeling?
His love language. It's not in how I show my love for him, it's how he feels loved by me.
Interesting. And constantly circling back to that
Absolutely.
to remind yourself.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was just like, we just looked at each other last night and said, I think we need to read that book again. Like, we need to kind of circle back because it's hard.
At any stage of the game.
Oh, absolutely.
Beginning,
and we've been married
middle,
almost
end.
9 years, so
Unbelievable. Thank you.
You're
Very
welcome.
helpful. I appreciate you coming in with us this
No
morning
problem.
despite the rain and the
Yes.
traffic. We posted a link to Justine's blog on our website, greatdaystlouis.com. And don't forget to catch my I Do, To Do stories every Wednesday here on Great Day. You can always catch up on my blog on greatdaystlouis.com. And that brings us to our Facebook question brought to you by Montel Winery. From your experience, what conversations do you suggest couples have before they get married? Maybe love language, money, holidays, vacation? We'd love for you to jump on our Great Day Facebook page and weigh in. Kent and Matt?
Thank you, ladies. Looking good in the kitchen there, I might add.